Why starting a bookkeeping business is different than what like most beginners think. So this is by Bryce Tubbs. So for me, a little bit about me. I started my business back in 2015. Close to a decade now. Only about 2 more months, we would have been a decade in business. We would have beat all of the odds, all of the naysayers, everything. So very, very grateful for that. And even then, when I was in 2018, 2019, we started helping other accountants and bookkeepers and individuals to start their own bookkeeping business, the same way we did. So awesome. Let's jump into this thing. So I'm excited to kind of talk today. So this is a new style I'm trying inside of these like things. I'm going to be like talking about like misconceptions, different things that I faced when I was starting to kind of really help you to avoid a lot of those trial and errors. It's not going to help you do everything, right? Because like unless you're inside of our mentorship program, I can't be there with you each day to know what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. So this is the next best thing. But if you want some further help, you want me to help to hold you by the hand, hold you accountable, tell you what to do to go and grow your business and reach your goal, go ahead and click the link inside the description, either above or below the video to book a call with myself to see if I can help you grow your business. So let's attack this thing. So the first challenge that I see, and it's not that there's anything necessarily hard with this business model, it's just so different than what most people think. Because most people like they'll get started with this stuff. They think, you just like tell people that you do accounting and bookkeeping, and then clients will want to work with you. And it does work like that sometimes. But for the majority of times, it's going to be that you have to learn to build relationships with business owners so that within like the next like first 30 days to like 60 days after you've met them, they want to work with you. So oftentimes what happens is like most people just don't understand time frames. So like oftentimes that people come to me, it's like, I just started my business like yesterday. When will I get my first clients? Like, I don't know. How many people are you connecting with? What is the type of business you're connecting? Are you connected with like a million people that only have like $10 in their bank account? They just started their business, or we're going after like maybe like 10 to 20 companies that are each doing like a million, 2 million, $3 million per year. Because that's gonna be an entirely drastic difference both in the number of clients you're gonna get and in the size of the client that you're going to get, right? Because like a company that's doing more money will oftentimes be able to pay you more. They're going to want to get to work faster and they understand your services. So you want to do quite as much selling as what most other people will have to do. Now, I've also seen people where like they've been in business for like six years or more and they still don't even have their first client. Now, maybe they have like one client or two clients they like start in taxation. That's what I generally will see. It's like they maybe have like not a lot of bookkeeping clients, but they'll have like some taxation clients or some tax prep clients. And really starting to get that monthly recurring revenue is something that they really struggle with. So number one, it's oftentimes that beginners frequently find it hard to close sales. It might not understand how to effectively communicate their value. Now, this issue is actually it's basically multiplied when you're targeting low ticket clients who are often looking for the cheapest rates, which can lead to burnout and like financial strain. So remember how we talked about if you go after hundreds of thousands of people that are small versus a few businesses that are large, the reason why it's so hard is because you have to sell and convince when a person does not know what you can do to help them. So a business, like put yourself in the mind like maybe a business owner. So like, let's say you're targeting business owners and you're like talking to someone that's like just starting a clothing brand. They probably don't know that much about business, and in some cases, they might not have ever worked super, super, super high up in corporate America. So they don't understand structure of a business either, right? So they not only don't have a lot of income coming to the business, but they don't understand like what an ideal business looks like versus a business owner that's maybe either ran a number of businesses or maybe they've been like a CEO or CFO of another company and now they're just rebuilding their old corporate company for themselves. That person understands what structure looks like. So they understand why they need accounting, why they need bookkeeping, right? And oftentimes those are the companies that are going to go to the 1 million, 2 million, $3 million per year. Right. A lot of people think that like you just start a business that just like grows to like 3 million, 4 million, whatever. No, but the people that do that, they have a very systematic approach to it. And oftentimes, like the business model requires them to hit those high revenue goals in order for them to actually be able to take out any significant profits. It's a very different business model, like an accounting and bookkeeping business. We'll talk more about that later, but the sophistication level of that person means that they understand why they need it. So it's not so much by you educating them like why they need the service, how the service is going to help them, and then why they should work with you. That's three sales. When you're working with the small fries, you have to make three sales. What is bookkeeping? Why should you have bookkeeping now? Why should you work with me? Versus a bigger company, they already know the first two. They already know how bookkeeping helps. They already know why they need bookkeepers. So it's just about do they like you and they feel like you're the person that can help them do those things, right? So by choosing the right client, you're going to be able to sell a lot easier. People will be willing to pay you more money. Next thing, so this kind of slides into sales. So a lot of people think whenever like they hear marketing, it's like I remember when I was starting my business and I would tell mom like I was like, yeah, man, I'm just not making this thing work. It's just so hard. Yeah, do you advertise? And it's like there's like when I think that's just kind of like the default most people think. So marketing is the art of being able to put out a message to the public. So it's like how does the message sound? What is the message? Where are you putting the message? How are you putting the message? And then like are you spending money you're doing for free? Advertising is a subset of that, right? So out of those five I just listed, it's one fifth, that's 20%, right? In a lot of cases, if you have the other four things down, you don't need to do any like paid advertising to go and get to 5,000, 10,000, $15,000 a month. You can do that organically. And organically just means like low cost or like free methodologies, right? So it's not just advertising. This is where a lot of people like really struggle because like most people what happens like they might start their business and they try and do like a Facebook ad. And like I've seen a lot of people like with their budget, like maybe they spend like $300 on like a Facebook ad and it doesn't work, or $300 on like a Google ad. I don't know exactly why. It's either people spend like $300 or they spend like $1,500. I don't know exactly why it's in those multiples, but those are the two numbers that like I just whenever I hear someone talk about ads and it didn't work, that's how much they generally spend. Now, if someone spends $300 and like they don't get a client, that's completely normal. Generally, when you're in the online space, cost per acquisition, that's cost to get a client, also called CPA. So three things: CPA, cost per acquisition, which means cost to get a client. Oftentimes, it's going to be between 750 to about $2,000 per client when you're using a Facebook or a Google advertisement, right? So if you're not spending at least that, you're not going to get a client. And even then, it's not just that you're going to get a client tomorrow just because you spend the money today. A big misconception is just because you're doing advertisements that the money's going to come in fast. So in a lot of cases, if your marketing is not that strong, it causes the average time frame for when someone sees you to when they become a client to be longer. So what most advertisers understand is there's certain types of ads, and it's not really just about the advertisement. It's about like what is the destination of the advertisement itself. So all an advertisement is like, you maybe have a post and it says, go do an action, like give me a call, join my Facebook group, get my free ebook, or watch my video, or join my email list, whatever, right? So each one of those places that you send them to is going to have a different time frame with which they encourage people to work with you. So as a beginner advertiser, you might not understand that. As an intermediate advertiser, you might start thinking, okay, so I want to go after like vehicles. After someone's come to the ad, I'm going to a vehicle that can maybe get the lead to come within like 30 to 60 days. And then as you get more and more established, now you don't just want leads today, but you want leads tomorrow. So like advertising, that's a huge art and huge science. If you're below about 15 grand a month, I don't even think that it makes sense for you to like to really care about that. Um, in a lot of cases, unless you have a huge amount of cash, or if you've already gotten some clients. If you have zero clients, do not run an ad. It's not going to save you because you're not. If you can't get someone to work with you, and you like if you have leads, let's say you have people in front of you, and you're basically telling them why they need a bookkeeper, and they don't go with you, then whatever you put in that ad is going to have the same effect. Like the ad actually does worse than what a free methodology will do. It's just that you can spend so much money, you can force it to go to a wide enough group of people that you can force a certain reaction. You're basically playing statistics at the most highest level to get an action to occur. But if you can't even do that when you're sitting right in front of someone one to one and they don't want to work with you, you're not going to be able to write that in an ad. Because all an advertisement really is at its core form is whatever you would say on your consultation call to get someone to buy from you, you would say that in the ad. So if you're not good at getting people to do that consistently, and you're talking like really good sized companies, then you're just not ready for ads. Um, but we teach a lot of other methodologies. Even on this like channel for in our free videos, we show you different methodologies, like how to use like LinkedIn, how to use like Facebook, how to go and get partnerships. And that's all like low cost methodology so you can save your money and you can start like really, really, really growing. Next thing, so networking partnerships. So many successful accountants and bookkeepers leverage strategic partnerships to go and bring in clients. Well, most beginners don't have access to this. So, like your first goal, in addition to getting clients, is to try and get known by people that have access to your existing clients, right? So let's say if you get 10, if you let's say you have 10 people that are influential. Each of those 10 people, let's say one's like a lawyer, like they have like a law firm, one owns like a co-working space, another is like a business therapists, right? Who each know business owners. If you can get 10 people like that to send you 10 consultation calls over the course of a year, excellent. I'll even make the stakes less. If you can get 10 of these people to give you four calls each, that's one per quarter, you're going to have between 20 to 40 clients. Now, most of you will not need 40 clients, so you won't need to talk to 10. Or you can tell them to stop halfway through the year, right? But you'll hit your goal versus going and learning how to hunt for clients, hunt for clients, hunt for clients, always chasing, always like trying to go and find them. So at a certain point, you want to start getting leverage. You want to start having tools and assets that will do the work for you. So like for me, for example, when I was first getting started, I was doing a lot more like messaging people. So I would like message, see if they want help, objection handle, get them on a phone call. Nowadays, as you get more and more established, like for example, for our booking business, it's all based on referrals. For my coaching business, it's all based on like YouTube or like I write content and people come to me, right? So Facebook's my referral partner, YouTube's my referral partner. Instagram, when I had an Instagram account, I don't have an Instagram account anymore, but when I had it, they were all sending leads to me. I didn't have to do as much active work every single day, every single week, right? So it's all about learning how to do that. So over time, your business becomes more passive. So like I used to spend like 2 hours a day, and like this is overkill because I was doing it for two businesses, but this is overkill. And like I would have to message people. Nowadays it's like I don't do anything in terms of like marketing. It's just like people see some of the stuff that we do and they either want to like work with you or they don't want to work with you, right? It's more about learning how to use other people and other people's time, energy, and audience to go and give you more and more and more over time. That's all this is. That's all this game is. Next thing is a lack of confidence. Now, a lot of business owners, when they're starting, they don't have confidence. Now, this is especially true when it's like accounting and bookkeeping, right? Because the more you know, and the more you learn, the more you see how much you don't know, and that's very very overwhelming to a lot of people, right? Because a lot of people like they want to get everything right before they start. Now, that's a very hard attitude to go in when starting a business because most times in business you're not going to know what you're doing like literally you're not like I was talking to a person yesterday and like she wants to do accounting, she also wants to do like QuickBooks training, and like I told her, okay, so cool, so I just need you to do this. Like we basically wrote like what are the three pillars of her like QuickBooks training course. She comes back to the next day and she just has this giant document of every single thing that she wants to teach. I'm like, well, this is totally not like needed. Like you could have saved yourself like 3 to 4 hours on this. Like we did this in like 20 minutes. Like this is all you need. It's like, yeah, but for myself, I like to know this, and like then I also want to go and build a website. Then I also want to go do this. Then I have to go and like make a bunch of posts. Like, well, chill, relax, relax. We're not there yet. Let's go hit this first. This is all you need to do. I'm trying to make sure you're not overwhelmed. Let's do this next. Let's do this next. Okay, so after a week, we will have all the key things you need in order to be able to go and start getting people to want to do your QuickBooks training. But a lot of them, like you just feel like you have to have everything there, you have to have everything perfect, it has to look pretty, it has to be established. And like in a corporate setting, that makes total sense, right? In a corporate setting, everything is about like really limiting mistakes and really like having everything like just perfect before you launch. But when you start a business, it's total opposite. It's messy. It's ugly in some cases. And like if you're doing this on your own, like it's generally you're just not gonna be good. And like that's okay. However, if you want to have things be like more streamlined, more straight, then probably invest in yourself and like doing coaching and like mentorships would probably be the best things for you. Like so it's funny, right? Because like a lot of people think that you just magically like get to your goal, but if you knew how much like most successful online business owners spent to learn the skill set to grow, like for example, my first year I spent like $36,000. Over the next 4 years, I spent $150,000 on courses, masterminds, coaching, mentors, mastermind guru retreats, just so much stuff to learn how to do this because there's just so much stuff you don't even think that you need to know. Like, did you know that there's like there's five main classifications of Facebook posts, and then another one for LinkedIn, another one for Instagram? I didn't know that when I started out. I just thought you just like post and talk about what you do. Okay, well, within each of those, there's like five or six different subtypes of posts. Okay, so when do you use post A, post B, post C, post D? Where do you use them? It's like there's just so much stuff that you don't know that it's just like, man, it's just crazy. So like, so I got interviewed for this podcast in my local area the other day, and like we were kind of talking about like my journey because the podcast had seen me like over like the last like 11, 12 years from even before I had my business because we went to the same gym. Like we used to work out at the same gym and you've seen all the different progressions, to where I am now. And like we were kind of reliving those different things. I was reflecting, man, really, if I had not done as many courses what I want, and like here's another thing too. It's like it's not just about finding the best course for you. It's about like how do you either buy two or three courses and like guarantee yourself success that's going to work. Like some people like they like babysit, like they buy one course, the course doesn't work for them. Like I'm never gonna buy another course. Courses don't work. It's like, well, how do you know it maybe just wasn't a very effective course that you bought? Or how do you know that maybe just the course just didn't align with like your learning style? I don't know. Who knows? Like there's a million different reasons why something didn't work, but it doesn't mean that you just stop. You have to do what you have to do to go and figure it out. Like the first course I bought, like it worked kind of, and like I used the money to go buy a second one, but the second course just didn't work for me at that moment in time. I didn't understand the person who was leading the course. Just we didn't really vibe. His teaching style didn't vibe with my learning style, and it just didn't work. So I bought another course, and that one worked even better. Right? And just like just keep doing what you have to do. But it's like you have to learn the skills and increase your earning potential when you're first starting. And then you won't even be thinking about a lack of confidence. Here's the funny thing. So a lot of people like that have like a lack of confidence. It's really that either that you don't really have enough skin in the goals. Because if you would focus on what you have to do, then what you don't have really fades away. So think about it like this. So if you think about like anyone that's like in a combat situation, a life or death situation, you don't okay, so let's say that like you see a car rolling towards your kid, right? And it's like it's a neutral and like no one's driving, right? You're not going to think that, you are not a superhuman if you're going to try and move this car out of the way or move your baby out of the way. You're not going to think about that stuff. You're not going to think about the fact that you have a bad knee. You're not going to think about the fact that maybe you're not that fast. You're not going to think about anything. You're just going to focus on the goal because there's skin in the game. You got to go save your kid, right? That is what happens when you invest in yourself. It's not necessarily life or death, but it does put that fire in your butt. So now you don't like. I didn't think about the fact that I didn't have 40 years experience when I just spent 7 grand on a program. I didn't think about the fact that I didn't have a lot of references when I just spent $8,000 on a course. I didn't think about the fact that I wasn't great at sales when I had just spent $5,000 on another course. I wasn't thinking about it. I had to go and get this client. This client has to pay me. I have to do an amazing job. Like I have to talk to this guy to find what his problems are. Like I was so focused on what I needed to do that caused me to go and be propelled to my goal. And like, just having a goal in a lot of cases is not strong enough. Like it's just not strong enough, man. Like I was like, I want to have like, a cool Mercedes, a BMW, a Porsche, and I want to have, I want to be able to go and do what I want to do. And like the first like 3 months, I made like no progress. And I was like, what? But I want this stuff. And I was like, it's all about having a goal. But it wasn't until I like literally started like paying and I like had something I was moving away from. Like I can't lose this $5,000. I've invested it. If I don't go and get a client, I have just lost this $5,000. So you're using that negative kind of reinforcement to move because most people have an aversion to loss or fear of loss that's actually stronger than their motivation to get something. So that's why it's like most people have a goal, but they never really achieve that goal. Or they just sometimes like they will procrastinate and not really get there. It's because there's not enough things at stake, right? There's not enough things at stake. Like, and I'll even drive this point even further. I talked to some people in my program, like they're like in their like early 20s, just out of high school, no kids, no spouse, or nothing. And they're like, man, I don't have the energy to do this, or man, it's so hard. Versus when you have like someone that maybe has like 4 or 5 kids, and like they're like the primary caretaker, and they start a business, they like rock it off because if they don't get this thing to work, you know well, oftentimes they have a job, but they understand like if they don't get this business to work, they can be stuck in their job forever, and they're not able to spend the time with their children who are growing up every single day. So what their fear of loss is that they are losing time with their children. So now they put the fear of loss of children and the investment mentorship program. That's why they can move 3 or 4 times as fast as everyone else. So I will digress. So some solutions to overcome these challenges. Number one, diversify your marketing approach that we kind of talked about. It's more to marketing than just advertising and paid advertising. Number two, you have to learn some effective sales and communication techniques. Number three, build up your self-confidence through mentorship and by having stuff that you're moving away from. Four, learn how to go and network online by getting partnerships for referrals. Also, if you want some help growing your business, go ahead and click the link inside the description, either above or below the video. Book a call. Let's see if I can help you out. Now, each month we do only accept a limited number of people. So we only accept about 10 people maximum per month into our mentorship program. And that's not to be mean. That's not to kind of like, kick people out. It's just I wanted to always focus on a select number of people that I felt had the highest probability of success, and I can give as much time to those people as possible. Because I'm very intertwined with the result. I'm very focused on the results. I want to make sure that if you do pay money for a mentorship program, you get a result from it and you're able to go and change your life. So if that's something you want to go learn more about, go ahead and click the link inside the description above below the video. Book the call. Let's see if we can help you out. And I'd love to see, how I can support you. Hopefully you have a good rest of your day. Take it easy. Talk to you soon.